Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called What Planet Has Wisdom for You Now? And we have 3 different planets to choose from. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and think about what is resonating with you today. For the first pile, we have Jupiter. Okay, so if you're feeling Jupiter today, you'll choose pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the moon. If you're feeling like the moon today, you'll choose pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have Saturn. If you're feeling Saturn-y today, Saturnian. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And you can find the timestamps below to easily navigate to your pile, and you're absolutely able to watch more than one pile too if that suits you. I hope everybody is having a good December and all the lovely Sagittarians are enjoying their birthdays. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose Jupiter, and today's reading is what planet has wisdom for you now, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get into your tarot. We are going to get into your oracle cards right here too. We're gonna have a good time. Pile number 1, and you guys chose Jupiter, the planet of good times. All right, so of riches and luck. All right, we are gonna go ahead and take a look at Jupiter does everything big. Bigger is always better, right? Pile number 1, not always, but you know what I mean. Let's go ahead, at least in America, bigger is always better. But let's go ahead for my pile number 1s and see. So Jupiter. Asking Jupiter, what wisdom do you have for my pile number 1s? What wisdom do you have for, ooh, okay, that one wants to be a part of the party. What wisdom do you have for my pile number, okay, nope. Very specific with the shuffling today. What wisdom do you, okay, there it is. I feel good about that, okay? So what wisdom? We have the Strength card. Ooh, I like that. That's very, it's a good energy for working with Jupiter because strength is the mediating force between everything growing exponentially and also everything being shut down. So it's that middle energy where we aren't doing anything too much to excess and we have control of all of our faculties in a way that is, fair and reasonable, I would say. Pile number 1, right? And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, do I feel like my life has been fair and reasonable to me? Am I giving too much in XYZ areas, okay? So let's go ahead, and I love in this deck particularly, the lion's mane looks very, like the curls look very nice. So some of you may have really nice curly hair, but let's go ahead and check in and see what energy Jupiter has for pile number 1. We have the 7 of Swords, sneaky little devil, okay? And it's like, the scratch off lottery ticket. What can I get today, right? And it's like, let me roll that dice and maybe today will be my lucky day. 7 of Swords. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have the Chariot. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. So there is something here for you, pile number 1, about staying power and having a clarity of purpose. Because the 7 of Swords has a tendency to double back on its energy multiple times, forward then backward, and just having a lot of intellectual curiosity. It is a Moon and Aquarius card, and the name of the card is the Lord of Unstable Effort. So this is where we are intrigued, we're interested, we're color me, you know, color me happy. There's a sofa in here for two. I don't know why I keep quoting lyrics or or not lyrics, but movie lines from Pretty Woman. But anyway, the Seven of Swords is like never ending curiosity. And I feel like a lot of my pile number one females who are watching this, you're very pretty women. And yeah, I think that's why I keep getting lines from that movie Pretty Woman. Anyway, I'm just having a lot of blonde moments in your reading. Pile number one, so maybe some of you have a lot of blonde moments yourself. But anyway, not to make fun of my blondes, but I do think that you guys get distracted easily. Pile number one, there may be times when you lose focus or you lose concentration. And also, I also just feel like you guys want to have a good time, all right? And some of you during this holiday season, this is videos being recorded in December, I feel like you don't really, like, especially for New Year's, some of you may be thinking about planning something special for New Year's or doing something special because it's like, I don't really want to, you know, I'm a little mischievous this year, you know, I'm like a naughty cat. Like if you just looked at cats, sometimes they just look like they're up to mischief. As soon as they said the word cat, my dog started barking. Anyway, but you guys are just, you know, mischievous little devils over here, pile number two. But here is the thing, right? When we're looking for expansion in our life with Jupiter and we're looking to grow something and we're looking to facilitate the creation of abundance in our life, you know, we need to apply concentrated effort, which is the energy of the Chariot and the Ace of Wands. And concentrated effort, not just fire indiscriminately all over the page and not just our mind going in 1,000 different directions, but we need to, you know, we need to find that focused determination. And I'm also getting something, pile number one, about something where you might have been a little bit bored or you might have been a little bit uninspired in 2022. So you're looking for ways to spice things up, or you're looking for ways to not only challenge yourself with the Chariot, but also like get that burning feeling of excitement again, okay, with the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is very like phallic. So I also feel like some of you in pile number one, I don't know why I threw that in there, but anyway, maybe some of you have your mind in the gutter, pile number one. But I also feel like when it comes to dating or when it comes to meeting people, I feel like, you know, you guys are kind of the man or woman about town, which is fine, you know, and I mean, maybe it's interesting, pile number one, because I feel like on some days you're motivated, and then on other days you're not, okay? And that's like the Seven of Swords. Like some days we're feeling it and we're really jazzed, and then other days we're not so jazzed, okay? And I'm trying to see, I feel like I'm seeing the letter A here, okay? I also feel like somebody is lifting weights. I'm just scrying on this card right now, and I feel like someone is lifting weights and has like a very sexy back, okay? As Justin Timberlake would say, I'm bringing sexy back, all right? You motherfuckers watch while I attack. If that's your girl, you better watch your back. And that's a fact. Pile number one. But anyway, I mean, I feel like there could be somebody that is, you know, some of you may like people that really take care of their bodies, or you might have seen someone where you were like, damn, that person looks good, or that person's sexy. I don't know if I would ever like say anything, but I do think they look cute, okay? And yeah, so that's interesting. And I do think some days you guys are like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get out of my shell. I'm gonna do something different. And then on other days it's like, nah, I'm just gonna stay home, you know, in my you know, my glorified like muumuu, which is like a shirt, dress, pajama top, and eat Cheetos and, you know, whatever it is, you know, pile number one, whatever it is, no judgment, pile number one. But yeah, it's like, I don't know why I just got the word greasy little paws, like somebody getting their greasy little paws on something. But anyway, pile number one, some of you are like, gross, Natalie. But anyway, I just feel with the Chariot and Ace of Wands, it's like, it's a moment of like, hey, you know, the thing, like really going for it, like really, really going for it and applying some really strong effort to things that you are working on, okay? And with this Four of Pentacles, I feel like you guys are gonna have to put some effort into something to get yourself out there, to put yourself out there, to put the projects you're working on out there, to show up for something. And to do that takes energy. And with the Chariot, we have to show up with some energy. Okay. And you know, the Chariot is number 7 in the tarot. So I'm talking 7 days a week. We got to show up, you know, with some energy. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right. Anyway, and yeah, with the Four of Pentacles, I also feel like some of you are working on like figuring out your patterns, okay, and like how your energy works and knowing when to kind of capitalize on things. And sometimes looking at your moon cycle will be a really good idea for that, okay? So some of you may want to listen to the moon reading as well. But, you know, the Four of Pentacles in the tarot is represented by Sun and Capricorn. And, of course, you know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is the mortal enemy of Jupiter. They don't like each other, not one bit, okay? So, so I also think, but we need Saturn. We absolutely need Saturn to tell us when to take it down a notch and when to, like, you know, we've applied effort and we're pushing for something and then we're just gonna kind of coast, or not coast, but we're just gonna kind of take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit and let it be where it is and let the cards, you know, fall where they may at that point, right? Because I think you guys can initially put your energy out there, whether it's with work, a romantic partner, whatever it is. For some of you that are seeking, you know, a partner, or you're wanting to get out there more, or for those of you doing work things, etc., looking for that promotion, looking for that, you know, looking for that step up with the Chariot, okay, looking for that fast and steady movement. All right. But I also think you can't burn yourself out with the Ace of Wands, pile number 1. So you're going to have to find those moments that work for you so that you can sustain that pace in a way that allows you to achieve your goals and accomplish what you're after. Okay. So let's see what else here too. I also feel like, you know, there's, you know, there's this thing of, I feel like extremes sometimes within you, pile number 1. And that's why when we have the star on the bottom, or the star, we have the strength card on the bottom of the deck is really important, because I feel like sometimes it's either feast or famine with you guys, where it's like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then other times you can't be bothered to kind of like do anything. And there may be, well, that's not true, pile number 1. You just are more, I'm getting somebody who needs to hang up like clothes in their closet, or needs to, like, you know, hang their laundry up, or hang up a bunch of stuff, or has a bunch of hangers, or has empty hangers, or cleaning out their closet, or something like that, okay? So the Four of Pentacles could also represent those boring tasks that we need to do from day to day to keep, you know, the engines running smoothly. And while that does need to happen, you know, and you do need to sustain your life, I mean, there's also just other areas of your life where I feel like maybe you guys have been lacking push in that area. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Relationships. Wow, yeah, I definitely was feeling this Seven of Swords. Like, do I want one? Do I want this person? Do I want that person? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? You know, and I feel like with the Seven of Swords, some of you really want to spring forth into the next year in a different and unique way. Okay, the Seven of Swords is a very unique type of energy. All right, it's very fun and funky. And with relationships, it says, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Okay, and if some of you were going for like one type, or one type superficially, like I have a type, this is what I like, I feel, and you haven't wanted to change that with the Four of Pentacles, I do feel like there's some new blood coming into your life, pile number one, with the Chariot and the Ace of Wands, but it's up to you to seek it out. You know, it's up to you to make those connections with relationships. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the rest of these cards over and we'll talk about them. Oh boy, we have the Golden Mirror, and we have one-sided relationships with narcissists. Okay, some of you guys could have been with people who were like very into their appearance, or you know, very superficial. Okay, and it did look like somebody was working out in front of the mirror. Some of you may have had an ex that like to, you know, primp themselves, or always, you know, they were just always like, you know, I'm the best or whatever, you know. And yeah, and you know what's interesting, pile number one, I mean, I don't think you're a narcissist, pile number one. I don't even know you, okay? I'm not trying to, but I do feel like some people may have, especially people trying to get to know you in relationships recently, might have been, because I feel like some of you had your guard up with the Four of Pentacles here. And I do feel like some people in relationships recently, like if you've been dating or doing different things, may feel that you're being a little bit selfish about certain things. It's like my way or the highway with the Ace of Wands and the Chariot, okay? But I don't think you guys see it that way. I think you're exploring, you know, the Seven of Swords is really an energy of exploring. But this whole question in relationships of, you know, putting energy out there versus holding an energy back, versus, you know, one-sided relationships with people who are very self-absorbed, okay? So Spirit really wanting to draw your attention to that. And of course, Jupiter, you know, like some of the worst people can come dressed up in the most beautiful packages, like promoting, you know, the things that sound the most amazing, but then there's really nothing there, you know. And Jupiter is also a planet of like charmers, salesmen, saleswomen, like people who could sell ice to an Eskimo. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a Jupiterian thing. That's very, very Jupiterian. I mean, on one hand, Jupiter can be very generous, and you know, this is the opposite of that. With one-sided relationships with people that are self-absorbed, we're seeing the bad side of Jupiter, where people are very gregarious and charming, but there's not a lot of substance there, okay? And we want to move to the other side, where it's like energetic and responsive and, you know, open and things like that, all right? So that's interesting, pile number one. We have hunger, okay? I think you guys have been hungry for someone to kind of bring you out of your shell. And, you know, I also feel like some of you for a long time were hungry to go back to someone, but you held off, or you held your ground with this Four of Pentacles, okay? With the Chariot and the Ace of Wands, and this self-absorbed one-sided relationship with this person in your life. I feel like some of you are like, I gotta leave it alone, and you're like, you know, but I also feel like you're leaving it alone at times, maybe. I feel like maybe you haven't left it alone in the mind, you know, because we can leave something alone and take two steps and walk, you know, throughout our day, one step and one foot in front of the other, and look like we're doing things, but in the mind with the Seven of Swords still be, you know, like thinking of someone or going back to something. And there's nothing wrong with like thinking about things, pile number one, but it may be a little bit of a dangerous game when it comes to some of these people, okay? And yeah, I also feel like some of you were really like hungry for someone's attention as well too in the past with a person that you were with, okay? So we have hungry. You guys could have been really hungry for a relationship with someone that was very self-absorbed and one-sided. We have love. Yeah, because this is like, you know, I'm hungry. I am hungry for love. You know, I'm hungry for a relationship. I'm hungry for, you know, my blessings. I want to receive my Jupiter blessings, okay? But with this Four of Pentacles showing up here, we have to show some self-restraint a little bit, okay? And we have to learn how to, like, not put everything out there right away. And I'm not talking about sexually. I'm not talking, you know, I'm not shame, you know, I'm not a slut shamer. Pile number one, far from it. Like, you know, let your freak flag fly for all I care, you know. But I do think when it comes to applying, you know, ruthless effort with the Chariot to something that you want so badly with the Ace of Wands that you're really hungry for, I do think some of you have been learning about like bringing, like constricting that a little bit, because Saturn has a tendency to kind of constrict, okay? But I feel like some of you had also been constricting yourselves to just one outcome with the Chariot, that you had your eye on the prize and you were constricting yourselves because you were so hungry for a particular individual, okay? And people can be like addictions. And, you know, with the Strength card showing up here on the bottom of the deck, I do think a lot of you are learning about, you know, when extremes, like I said, when is too much, and when is too little, you know? And oftentimes there's just difference in energy in people. And sometimes you can find them in really weird periods of their life where they just don't really feel like giving anything to anything. Okay. And then, you know, maybe 2 years later, they're ready to actually do something, you know, but sometimes it's also a timing issue as well. Okay. But with this golden mirror, I also feel like, you know, with Jupiter here, you guys really, because you are hungry for love, wanting to see the best in people. Nothing wrong with wanting to see like the best in people. But we want to make sure that the effort that we're putting in things can be sustained, and that it's something that we can actually like rely on and hold on to at the end of the day with the Four of Pentacles, okay? And we have dog here, protection from a powerful friend. Okay, so, you know, some of you may love animals anyway, and some of you guys may have animals that when they meet a person and they don't like that person, your dog like tries to show you or tell you, or your animal like tries to show you or tell you like this person's a piece of crap, or this is a person that you should be leery of. I also feel like some of you could have a friend who's like very straight up with the Seven of Swords and like just will, you know, say things and it's like, damn, you know, but they are like a truth teller and they will tell you like it is, okay? So this dog, I like this. This is protection from a powerful friend who is watching these situations in your life, okay? And like I said, some of you may have an animal, like a cat or a dog, that gets a certain way around a person because they can tell something is weird with, you know, who they are as a person, really. We have butterfly, a change for the better. Yep, I feel like I feel like some of you have a friend in your life that was like good riddance, you know, when this person, as much as they didn't want to see you struggle or suffer, they also always thought that you deserved so much better, okay? So I feel like Jupiter is bringing positive things to you guys in the sense that, you know, leaving this behind and starting again with the Chariot and the Ace of Wands is actually going to be the right thing for you guys, okay? And yeah, it's a chance to start over, and it's a chance to take the lessons that you learned and apply them. Pile number one. And, you know, I feel like you guys are really getting a second chance. Like, you really can get a second chance to try again. Pile number one, which is amazing. And maybe some of you didn't always feel that way in the past, but what I see is, you know, a second chance to really try a different way is what I'm seeing, to take a different path. Pile number one, okay? We have Labradorite and Magic. Has your life gotten dull, mundane, and repetitive? Yes, like I said in the beginning of your reading. Has your life gotten, with this Seven of Swords, you know, you look at the Seven of Swords and you go, well, that's not somebody who's so like boring and dull. But I can see like wanting to do things and just thinking about doing them and not actually doing them as the Lord of unstable effort, which is represented by the Seven of Swords. Okay, so labradorite is an earth-colored stone that promotes groundedness, but its iridescent sheen brings the mystical and magical into the physical plane. The light from the sheen helps to deflect negativity. Labradorite is the bringer of light and helps raise consciousness. Affirmation: to add sparkle to my life, I sprinkle my day with mystical, magical, and light-filled moments. Ah, pile number one. Yeah, and I feel like some of you are very hungry for those magical, you know, light-filled, happy, funny moments in life, okay? And some of you, like, after starting this new path, I feel like it's a change for the better, where you really start to see your life kind of come alive again, okay? We have here the Snow Leopard. Wow, pile number one. Hey now, okay? The Snow Leopard, self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome, okay? Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition to let life unfold in silent perfection. Oh my, the Snow Leopard. I like that. Some of you may have a tendency as well to attract, some of you may be attracting someone into your life who is strongly independent and solitary and has a lot of integrity and, you know, it says cloak yourself with invisibility. This person doesn't need attention all the time. They're not like sucking the life out of other people because they just represent a huge attention suck, you know? Yeah, and I feel like this person could be a little bit quieter. They could be more of like the strong, silent type. Very different. I feel like if some of you in the past like dated people that were very show off or this type of thing, okay? So very interesting, pile number one, okay? And we have here Sacred Soul Sister. Wow, that is interesting. So this is card number 37. We may have some 37-year-olds or 30 people in their 30s in this pile, but let's check it out. With this is the Rumi Oracle. So I'm just gonna read a little bit of this to you guys as we close your reading here, okay? Sacred Soul Sister, when you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. Yeah, I talked about you guys maybe listening to the moon pile. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Oh my God, the Seven of Swords, the Lord of unstable effort. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. Wow. Look for instability until you become stable. Wow, that's an interesting point of view. There is a valid point of view that we travel this path of our life journey alone. Yeah, with the snow leopard. Our deepest descents into the psyche happen alone. We meet death alone, and we come into the world alone. And yet there is a vaster perspective that we are never alone, that it would be impossible to be really alone. We are all connected to life, and there is no such thing as being alone in reality, only limited and temporary perception. Okay, as if community were not enough, there is a partner, an ally who journeys with you from birth to death and beyond again. You have a sacred sister, a sister of your soul. Aw, some of you guys have a beautiful friend, I feel like. She weaves the stories of truth through dreams and insights that come upon you as if from nowhere. Perhaps they drop into your mind to seem to erupt from within, but that is her talking to you, demanding or reassuring, depending on what the occasion best calls for in that moment. Okay, some of you, this may be talking about a guide or an animal totem, like a leopard here, all right? Her truths may seem overly dramatic, so you may discount them as workings of an overactive imagination, or perhaps her truth tales are so subtle you dismiss them as a fleeting fancy. The wise ones know, however, that the truths of the sacred soul sister are powerful, relevant, and worthy of time and attention. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see, anything else? Oh, it's sort of like the eye of the dog. Yeah, the dog. Here's the dog right here. It's sort of like the eye of the dog trying to see its whole self, which is a bit tricky, for as it moves to see its rear, so the rear is moved along too, chasing tails, right? So rather than through direct perception, the sacred soul sister is met through reflection. She can be received in those moments of rest where great ideas are born. She is a genius, you see, vastly creative and inspired. Yeah, the Seven of Swords for sure. This oracle comes with a particular guidance. You know something deep in your bones without knowing how or why, or with particular reason, you just know. It doesn't make sense, but you know. It may be a joy that you know. It may be that you know to avoid certain situations. It may be that something is going to work out beautifully, despite appearances to the contrary at a particular moment. It may be that you are meant to take a certain path. You just know. Okay, this oracle comes as confirmation that your knowing, mysterious as it is, your sacred soul sister is talking through you. Trust it and act. Trust it and act or not accordingly. All right, act or do it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your choice. That's a very interesting, it's like, you know, trust it and act or don't, you know, and that's very much like a Seven of Swords type of thing. It's like that Lord of unstable effort and finding stability through instability and finding action through non-action and, you know, all the interesting dualities in the world. Anyway, pile number one, we could go on philosophically forever if we wanted to, and that certainly is the nature of Jupiter, but I am going to go ahead and close your reading. I hope that that reading was helpful to you, and I'd love to hear any comments or feedback that you have in the comment section. Thank you so much, pile number one, and take care. Let's move on to pile number two. Okay. Let's do it. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the moon, and today's reading is called What Planet Has Wisdom for You Now? I love the moon. That's a great one. Pile number two. And the moon changes signs every couple of days. She is the fastest moving. We can call her a planet, but she's really a luminary. And she's closest to us here on the earth, okay? So we are receiving a lot of her energy of the moon, all right? Pile number two. So let's go ahead and get into it for my pile number twos. Spirits, angels, and guides, can you show me what message is the moon conveying to pile number two? What's the message for pile number two, please? What's the message or wisdom? What's the message or wisdom? What is it? There we go. Patience, right? Pile number two. Here's the Three of Wands. No, I don't want to be patient. I want to go, go, go. The Three of Wands. Okay, so the Three of Wands in the tarot is Sun in Aries. All right, so let's go ahead and start pile number 2 and take a look at what messages are coming through. We have the Page of Cups. That's very moony. That's very moon-like, very sensitive and creative and emotional. Okay. I feel like some of you may be forgetting things a lot lately. It's like, where did I put that thing, or where did that thing go? But I do feel like creativity and sensitivities are on the rise for you right now. Pile number 2. Let's see what else. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So the moon also has to do with mothers and mothering and family. Okay, so for some of you here, we have a mother and a child, or an adult and a younger brother or sister, or someone old. You know what I'm saying? Pile number 2. I don't have to give you 1,000 examples. I think you already know. But for some of you, this reading could also be about fertility, or about, you know, a child in your life. Okay, and so we're going to talk about that. And the Queen of Pentacles is supremely well suited to be a fantastic nurturer and to really carry the responsibility and be very diligent. Okay. And I do feel like for some of you, you may have somebody depending on you. Okay. With this Page of Cups, you may be depending on someone, or someone may be depending on you. I do feel like someone could be taking care of someone financially or trying to help someone out. But the moon also represents those dependencies that we can sometimes have in life too, okay? So where we find, I even talked about it in the intro about the Earth Moon and, you know, the relationship between. I didn't go deep into it, but it's there, you know, and we see it here reflected in the cards. All right. And some of you, I feel like also here, you've been very like carrying the burden and carrying the weight of things in your family, or, you know, with your children or your family, or in your own families, even if you don't have children. Like, some of you had to grow up early, or some of you had to like carry the weight of things. Okay. And someone has to be the responsible one. Somebody has to be the one to see that everybody is okay. All right. And some of you here, I do feel like there could be a connection here as well. And there may be a difference in maturity a little bit in this connection, or a difference in age. But let's see what else we have. Wow. Wow. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Boy, oh boy. So you guys have a lot of people in your reading. Whenever we see the court cards in the tarot, it definitely represents a person. It could be another person. It could be you, or a different person. Okay. But I do feel like there is a need for someone to become self-reliant, or somebody to become more independent. Because pile number 2, for some of you, this may be a child. Now, if they're like 5, you know, that's a different story. But there is a need here, because I feel like you guys are needing to, you know, you're needing to focus more on your own goals and dreams and ambitions. And some of you may also like mother your partner. Like, some people are very maternal with their partners. Okay. Some people are very like maternal with their friends, or at work. You know, they try to do everything for someone else. Okay. So I feel like some of you could definitely be put in that position at times, or you've had to take that position in your life, okay? And with the Queen of Pentacles represents Capricorn, and the Page of Cups, we could definitely have Cancer, Capricorn, and the Knight of Pentacles in the tarot is Taurus, although oftentimes I think he looks like a Virgo too. But anyway, more Taurus-like, I would say, though, because you have that stability factor. and Virgo is like the least stable of the earth energies. But anyway, pile number 2, some of you have like a lot of work that you need to get done. You have a lot of plans and a lot of work to get done so that you can do what it is that you are setting out to do. And the Three of Wands is definitely like where we have come so far, but there's still so much more left to explore in life. But we're going to need a solid plan, and we're going to need a stick-to-itness and a singular focus, okay? And we're gonna need to curb some of our emotional reactions, especially for those of you that have been in somewhat codependent relationships or codependencies with your family or your children or these types of things. I feel like, you know, I don't want to say it's a sink or swim time for some people in life, but I do think it is a little bit, pile number 2. I mean, some people are kind of getting to that point, like we can only sort of prop people up for so long before it's kind of like a sink or swim time. Okay. And I do think that there's a lot of things that you guys are wanting to do. Like, you know, excitement, exploring. The Three of Wands is a Sun in Aries card, okay? And the Sun is exalted in Aries. So it's like, I want to do what I want to do. I want to start new things. I want to experience new things. I want to be a leader in my life. I don't want all of these responsibilities on my shoulders all the time. I want to be free to roam and do my thing. Okay, and some of you may want to travel, or you got plans, or you got things that you want to be up to, okay? And I do think some of you are going to be coming up with a plan to really move things forward. And I do think there's an element of emotionality. Like some of you may have been very babying or maternal towards other people in relationships, whether it's friendships, family members, work situations, you know, like very, very babying towards others. You know what I'm saying, okay? I'm a Cancer moon, so I get it. Pile number 2, I get it. You know, don't at me in the comments. You know what I'm saying? I love that saying, don't at me, you know, but anyway, I'm a Cancer moon. I get it. Been there, done it 1,000 times myself. Okay. The Queen of Pentacles in the tarot represents the watery part of Earth. So you're very practical and you know how to keep things together, pile number 2. But I also feel like I also feel like, you know, that big heart of yours and wanting to care for people, especially people that are a little bit more vulnerable, or people that, you know, maybe don't plan as much, or people that are more like go with the flow, or just sort of let life like wash over them and maybe don't do the most planning, and are like more creative and less like, you know, less regimented is also what I'm getting here. I feel like, okay, fine, I get it, pile number 2, that you want to be there for people, but I also just think this Knight of Pentacles is demanding a less kind of emotional involvement, okay? And you would think with the moon, it's like, oh, wow, you know, like we want so much emotional involvement, like we need more of it, you know? And it's funny because this is a Taurus card and the moon is exalted in Taurus. But, you know, the moon loves to be in Taurus because the moon is very cyclical and it moves all the time. It can be very unstable at times. And in Taurus, it finds a healthy, stabilizing force, okay? And some of you, and the Knight of Pentacles in the tarot also represents the airy part of Earth. Okay, so when we think about the airy part of Earth, pile number 2, do you think the Knight of Pentacles looks very emotional? He's on a black horse, you know, representing Salt, Thomas, okay? And he's wearing armor. And he's looking at that pentacle and all the work he's done and still has to do to kind of make things happen. All right. And the Knight of Pentacles is the man with the plan or the woman with the plan. All right. And it's not very emotional. It's not like, you know, all that whimsical. The Knight of Pentacles is not necessarily super whimsical. So there's a need to sort of like lessen emotional reactions and over caring and overdoing things for others and become singularly focused more on your own timetables, goals, and metrics, okay? Because we can like, I feel you have a very big heart and you care and you care and you care, but I also just feel like it could be enabling at times, pile number 2. And I know some of us are just like naturally enabling. I feel I am half the time, pile number 2. Like we want to be there for people. We feel it's our responsibility. You know, we signed up for this job, you know, type thing. Okay. So because I feel like with the 3 of Wands, we're looking at fierce independence, okay? So there is a need, a burning desire on the bottom of the deck here to become fiercely independent in your life and to like go out and do the things that you're wanting to do and really make it happen for yourself. All right. Another thing I'm getting here, and I didn't want to interrupt myself from before, but another thing I'm getting here is some of you could be in a job where you're not really being utilized to your full extent, or you're not doing something that allows you to like be creative, or you feel like the people that you work with or the people that you're working are looking for only one thing from you, and that any deviation, like I feel some of you want to be given more free reign in your work. It's 7-11 right now, pile number 2. I love that. It's a very lucky number. I feel like some of you want to be given more free reign to kind of do what you want to do in your work, okay? But I also think if you want to do that, pile number 2, you're going to have a very solid plan, and you're going to have to kind of run with it. And I mean, because pile number 2, it's interesting. Like sometimes we have very creative ideas. With the Page of Cups, we have very creative ideas in the workplace that could actually be very useful to other people, but we may be lacking a solid plan that makes sense to present to the powers that be. Do you know what I'm saying, pile number 2? So sometimes in order to get, I don't know why I'm just getting the word wacky. I don't really, I'm not getting that you guys are these like wacky, crazy people really, pile number 2. I mean, quite the contrary. But I also feel like you have some really good ideas, because when you're in the flow, you have some amazing ideas that could actually really benefit wherever it is that you're working, okay? So I think the problem is maybe in the way that you're presenting it or in the way that you're doing it, okay? And some of you here who are bosses or have people that report to you, or you're supposed to take care of certain people at work, I feel like you've been putting like way too much emotion into it, way too much, okay? So we need to kind of take it back a notch and be, it's the moon pile, but we need to be less moony in this pile number 2. We got to take it down a notch. All right. And I feel like that might be kind of hard for you guys because you are like very caring and kind and compassionate. All right. But let's see what else we have coming up. Empathy. Oh my God. All right, pile number 2. Some of you are my serious hardcore empaths in pile number 2. And empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of the situation. I feel like you guys are always open to seeing both sides of the situation and living in both sides of the situation. And that's why you care, because you can feel it. Okay. But sometimes we have to kind of, this Knight of Pentacles is giving me this energy of kind of hardening up a bit to, it's not like you don't care. It's not like you're not going to do things. It's just that, we need to be more strategic with the Knight of Pentacles. And some of us can just be overflowing, boundless rivers of compassion, giving everything we have to every cause that there is. And sometimes we need to know like when to lock it up. I also want to say, for those of you with the Page of Cups and empathy here, some of you may, like I said, be very caring towards your partner, or like overly nurturing to a partner. But I also want to say, pile number 2, that for those of you that have Moon Neptune aspects in your chart, okay, look at your chart. I mean, pile number 2, I'm just about ready to finish putting up my astrology site where you can book a personal astrology natal chart reading with me. So if you don't know your chart and you don't know what you're doing, you know, by all means, like, get a reading. But for those of you that do know a little bit of astrology and you do know your chart, if you have any Moon Neptune aspects in your chart, this'll do it. You know, like, that is the overflowing of compassion and endless, boundless empathy where we care and care and care. So for my Moon Neptune people, you can write in the comments if you are a Moon Neptune person, or some of you who have a moon in Cancer, okay, or a moon in Taurus. You know, leave me a comment and let me know what's going on with that moon of yours, all right? Some of you really need to probably look at your own moon and your own chart and figure out how it works, you know, because I think once you figure out how things work, the Knight of Pentacles, you can become like very efficient. So let's see, we have soulmates. Wow. Yeah, the way you guys care and protect and love your partner. Some of you are just like, so like, oh my God, like, you know, and even with your children, like, you know, soulmates are just not like romantic partners. They're also like family members that we really love and care for, friendships, things like that. Soulmates. I feel like you guys, when you feel that sense of responsibility, when you feel like someone's a soulmate, we have soul connection, partnership, agreement, and soul contract. Okay, some of you could have really been questioning, what is my soul contract with this person? What is my soul contract with my children? What is it with this person in my life? Okay, very interesting questions. And I feel like some of us could get lost in that. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, with the Knight of Pentacles, we probably just need to come up with a strategic plan, you know, and find our soulmates, find our allies. And I feel some of you could be finding some really amazing, creative, juicy, wonderful friends, you know, which is very, very cool. Okay. So, I mean, soulmates are definitely on the menu for you, pile number 2. You know, we just want to make sure we're not repeating some of the same maybe mistakes of the past type thing, okay? We have intuition. Yeah, some of you may feel that if you get a little bit more like strategic or you know, air of earth, like, you know, I said the Knight of Pentacles represents the airy part of earth. Like, if you do that, you're not going to like be as intuitive, or if you're just completely, you know, like putting your foot in the mundane, that you're gonna like lose your psychic abilities, okay? Or you're definitely not, pile number 2. And you know what? Intuition can be used in many different ways. When I worked in corporate America, I would oftentimes go into meetings where I was meeting with different clients, and I needed to use my intuition because we were either trying to sell business, or we were having like quarterly meetings with clients and things like that, you know, and to understand like what people need and to make it happen is a powerful thing in the world, you know. So applying some elbow grease with the Knight of Pentacles and some stability along with intuition is going to take you guys really, really far, I feel, okay? And we have here pain. Wow. Wow. Pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2. Some of you in pile number 2, you could be my empaths. You could be my psychics, my empaths, my very sensitive souls, highly sensitive souls in pile number 2. And sometimes we really put on that armor, and because because we've been feeling too much, you know, and some people feel like their gift of empathy makes them very self-conscious and makes them, you know, very tired and drained at times, or self-conscious, okay, or lacking, you know, that efficiency that's needed, okay. But I feel like pile number 2, some of you just need to, like, you know, trim around the edges and tighten it up a bit. And I feel like you can really make your intuition work for you instead of work against you. All right. And I also feel like some of you feel like, you know, if someone doesn't need you anymore, they're going to go off and do their own thing and maybe leave you behind. Or, you know, and sometimes that happens, like when we're really caring for people, we may be doing it sometimes because we feel like if we don't, like, you know, we're going to be abandoned or things like this. Okay. So some of you may feel that your intuition is telling you that someone's leaving you or someone is moving on from you as well. Okay. And pile number 2, let me just tell you, you are a very amazing person. I feel like I'm looking at all of this, and you're very skillful and talented with the Queen of Pentacles. You're also very caring and reliable and lovely, okay? And many more things. Pile number 2, creative, instinctual, passionate, inspired. You know, some of you may have a lot of musical talent or just various artistic talent, okay? So I just need you to believe in yourselves, pile number 2, okay? Because you really have so many gifts, all right? And you're gonna be fine. And I feel the people around you are gonna be fine too. You know, they may need to find their way on their own for a while, but they're gonna be fine. You know, everybody's gonna be okay. And I know in life, not everything is okay all the time, but I mean, I feel with this, all this, you know, earth and water energy, like things can stabilize. Pile number 2, okay? We have chain of events that will affect your life, okay? So, you know, sometimes, especially with soulmates, you know, when we meet somebody that we're like, boom, the energies are there. Like, you know, some people will move to different places. Some people will move to different countries. Some people will, like, and I talked about you guys traveling, and here I see the globe and a chain that is connecting like 2 different countries, okay? So, you know, life is like a big puzzle, and we don't always, but like the people that we meet are very important because they can definitely change our life path, okay? And I also feel you guys have the power to change other people's life path as well. And I also feel for those of you that are worried about someone going or not seeing someone, I feel like the chain is a bond. It can't be broken. Like even if someone isn't near you, it doesn't matter. Their energy is still with you. You know, it's still very powerful. All right. We have here fan. Wow. Like a fan, like one of those, I forget what they're called, but it's like the Asian fan, you know, where you like fan yourself, like the fabulous fan. Okay. And this says romance, celebration, and party. Oh my God. Pile number 2. Fan yourself, baby. Like, be fabulous, okay? And fan yourself and believe in yourself, okay? And some of you here are going to be having a chain of events that will affect your life with soulmates. And it is something to celebrate. It is something, okay? There is something to celebrate for you, pile number 2, okay? We have lion skin and tolerance. Yeah, I love this for the Knight of Pentacles. Lion skin crystal, all right? So the totem animal for this stone is the lion, okay? We may have some Leo energy here too. Unlike other members of the cat family, which tends to be independent, lions live with a communal group. Yeah, the family, like I was talking about. Lion skin reminds us that cooperation and tolerance is key to any group's success and sustainability. So cooperation from you, cooperation from them, tolerance for differences. Okay, because the Page of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles could, I mean, you have three people here. They may, you know, one of them is you, pile number two. But what we see is people who are very different. Even the Queen of Pentacles is very different than the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is far more directed and less emotional. I mean, the Queen of Pentacles is directed too, but it's more of, I'm doing this because I care and I feel a calling to care and to be of service. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles says, I have an important mission and I need to maintain and achieve my results. Okay. So people, I feel like, that could be in your family or people that you're in love with or soulmates, friends. I feel like, you know, people all have a little bit different personalities. And so in order to exist in a group, we need to have cooperation and tolerance, which I feel you guys really do have, like empathy. You know, the part of that is empathy. When you're in charge of a situation or group, yeah, when you are in charge, pile number two, of a situation or group, lion skin can strengthen your leadership skills. Yeah, and that's what I see with the Knight of Pentacles. I see your leadership skills are increasing, including the ability to delegate. Yeah, I mentioned the work situation of you doing everything or taking care of everybody because you care, and, you know, maybe new people and you're trying to do everything and make sure everyone's fine, you know, but we could also talk about this is going to strengthen your leadership skills and your ability to delegate and inspire and communicate effectively. Okay. Affirmation is, I am tolerant. I cooperate with others willingly and compromise when it's for the greater good. Okay. And I feel like this is coming out on this pain card. So I feel in the past, some of you have been very, very tolerant, almost too tolerant. Okay. I feel like lately you guys are trying to move into a space that's a little bit more logical with the Knight of Pentacles and a little more directed, because I feel like you guys want to be taken seriously, you know, as a top producer or as a person who, you know, has leadership skills, but also is very intuitive, which I'll tell you, pile number two, that is the magic sauce in any relationship or group. If you have someone who is efficient and reliable and tolerant and empathic, and you have someone like that in the workplace, like you, pile number two, or you have someone like that in family or in relationship, like that is a true blessing. Okay, but I feel some of you have been like, yeah, my tolerance for others has really gotten me into trouble. Okay, so you're learning to commune with that energy in a way that is more structured, I feel. Like tolerance, compassion, cooperation, all that is important, of course, as we know, but we need to have some structures and rules around it with the Knight of Pentacles, okay? Squirrel, always prepared. Wow, always prepared, okay? I feel like some of you are wanting to get more active and busy as well, or if you feel like you've gained weight or you feel like you just want to focus on your health. I feel like some of you are knowing when you neglect yourself too much. Okay, some of you may have 2 children and you worry about them, or you may have a child that you really, really worry about. I'm also seeing a pregnancy here for some of you. Okay, and interesting. Squirrel, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Yeah, we have romance, celebration, and party. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Hard work, Knight of Pentacles. Hard play, Page of Cups. I love it. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Of course it is, pile number 2. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Yeah, stay the course, Knight of Pentacles, okay? Make a plan, Knight of Pentacles, for the future, and life will give you all that you need, okay? And you guys are just too cute, pile number 2. And sometimes I feel like maybe you're afraid to ask for what you want, and you see other people asking for what they want or doing what they want or whatever. Sometimes you guys may be a little bit shy about, you know, asking for what you want. Let me just say, pile number 2, like you guys are just I got love for you, pile number 2. Let's put it that way. I think you guys are you know, you'll break my little squirrel heart, pile number 2, if you don't get what you want in life. I'm rooting for you, okay? And it's gonna be good, you know? Make a plan for the future, all right? Stick to it. Don't let distractions take you off course, okay? We have here Dance of the Divine Feminine. Oh, hell yeah. Pile number 2, the Dance of the Divine Feminine. And I want to see, where is my Rumi book? Because this is the Rumi card. Oh, here it is. And I want to read a little bit of it to you, okay? Very lovely. Dance of the Divine Feminine. Very beautiful. Pile number 2. Okay, we have Dance of the Divine Feminine, which is romance, celebration, and parties. So some of you may have an opportunity to dance or to like really enjoy yourself. I love it. Okay, let's see card 42 for you guys. Somebody here may be in their 40s. We've got 42 here. Okay. Dance of the Divine Feminine. If a tree could move from one place to another, yeah, the 3 of Wands. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon, wow, the moon, if the sun and the moon stood still like the rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. Oh boy, pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. Rumi. Okay, this is the Rumi deck. I almost said Rumi dick. Oh no, I'm going to be struck down by the gods. Anyway, how can your feet bear to be still when the music is so lush and inviting? How can you hold yourself back from the tide of love when the horizon looms so vast and exciting? How can you not arch your back and respond with ecstasy to a lover's touch, saying in absolute submission, yes, more. You were made to move and grow. Yeah, 3 of Wands. To love and flow. Even the mountains change. Surrender to the stodgy ways of the mind and become willing to dance to the great orchestrations of love. Okay? You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see. Is it moving? Of course it is. It is hurtling through the skies, spinning and tilted on its axis. It's amazing you aren't passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. You stand there imagining you have a choice of not moving. What funny foolishness. Let us laugh about it together. How can you even imagine it only through some misplaced fear? Yet it is in such craziness, really. It is such craziness, really. You can cast it off, that small, crazy fear. Let it return to the Earth Mother to become fertilizer for far grander and more exciting insanity of divine love instead. Okay, and this oracle comes to you with guidance. You may feel as though your life is being tipped upside down. Perhaps you feel as though the great beloved, in a feisty mood, has grabbed your ankles and is holding you upside down and shaking you wildly until your skirt is over your head or the pockets of your pants become free of their contents, keys, and wallet, dropping to the floor in dismay. Your hair is messy, your bottom is in the air, and your sense of orientation is nowhere to be found. This sounds like the Hangman in the tarot. Okay, blood is rushing to your head, and goodness knows you just want to be put down to have a moment to come to your senses. Okay, soon you'll be able to find your orientation, even if you have once held onto appears to be shivering and insubstantial, a mere dance of light rather than solid ground. This will become so easy for you because your orientation will flow from within, from the heart, and no matter what shifts or changes take place around you, your center will remain strong. Knight of Pentacles. This will become so easy for you because, oh, I already said that. This is what, okay, such peace and relief it shall bring you. But perhaps some shaking about is required first in case you are reluctant to give up some mainstays, unaware of how much they drain your life away from your heart center. Yeah, this oracle brings you this message. There is something you are holding on to, a person, a place, a thing, a belief, or a vision. Yeah, I mentioned this whole thing of, you guys holding on to someone and maybe being afraid to let go a little bit, okay? It may grow and change into something utterly different, or it may grow into exactly what you were imagining. Whatever outcome, growth is happening, and you'll find you enjoy the way much more with greater flow and support and less bashing of your head against the proverbial brick wall if you just let it happen. Don't worry if it seems as though your world is coming to an end or you are losing something once loved. This is just the shaking about of the great beloved to lead you into a deeper, sweeter dance of divine being and becoming. Put your focus into your heart and realize that you are more ready than you think. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. Shake those hips, stamp those feet, close your eyes, and clap your hands, okay? What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. All right, pile number 2. Beautiful, beautiful energy, the dance of the divine feminine. Pile number 2, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that reading today. I hope that reading supports you on your path in life, and I'd love to hear your feedback or comments. Thank you so much, pile number 2. I'm sending you lots of blessings. Let's move on to pile number 3. Okay, let's do it. All right. Pile number 3, you chose Saturn. I like it, pile number 3. I love a person that knows when to choose Saturn. Good for you. Brave. All right. So let's go ahead and get into pile number 3. Actually, Saturn is one of my favorite planets. Just like, even though he's the big bad daddy malefic in the sky, I'm like, yeah, show us what's going on, Saturn. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to find out what wisdom Saturn has to bring to my pile number 3s. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at this, and then we'll get into your oracle cards. Pile number 3. Oh, the 8 of Cups just popped up. Okay, so there's the 4 of Cups, grieving and letting go. Also having to admit certain things to ourselves. Pile number 3. Okay, so maybe some of you are needing to admit the truth of something to yourself right now, okay? Something that isn't working anymore. But let's go ahead and see, because Saturn definitely delivers the truth, the reality of the situation. Let's go ahead and see for pile number 3, okay? The wisdom from Saturn. And Saturn is also a planet associated with age and wisdom. So good choice. We have the 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, okay? The 6 of Cups in the tarot represents Sun in Scorpio, and it is represented by the Lord of Pleasure, which talks about the things that we give meaning to in our life, that we assign meaning to, that bring us great pleasure and, a richness and a fulfilling energy in our life, okay? And and the 6 of Cups also speaks to a vulnerability that comes up when we're really like sharing our truth with another, or when we're really engaging in, vulnerable acts of intimacy. Pile number 3. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Sun. Wow. 2 cards that are vastly different, but I love that we're seeing the brilliance of the Sun. I will tell you, pile number 3, that Saturn and the Sun are mortal enemies. But I feel like Saturn is like, okay, like bring on the Sun, We have the 2 of Cups, okay. And so with the 5 of Pentacles, we have a feeling of total and utter destituteness and misfortune. And we have a feeling of deep heaviness, deep internal heaviness, which has settled in our bones like the cold and the snow, and it is winter time. in the northern hemisphere, we are approaching the winter solstice. Okay, southern hemisphere people, here's your summer sun here. But how vastly different it is, right? And I also think there's an energy in your pile number 3, about gratitude and like not missing out on your opportunities because of old inherited patterns and beliefs, okay? And I also feel like some of you here may have been in poor health, or you may not have been feeling a lot of energy. Now, let me just say, we've been having some really crappy transits. We've had Mars square Neptune. We've just had that full moon with the moon Mars square Neptune. We've had some crappy energy draining things that have been happening astrologically. So some of you have been feeling very tired, or you've been feeling very lackluster. That could be why. Also, the 5 of Pentacles can be where we've totally lost excitement for everything in our life. We no longer feel that, life is worth living. We no longer feel that there's anything to look forward to. We no longer, there's just a sense of emptiness that has, taken hold from within, okay? And I feel like for those of you that have been going through that, I've been definitely going through some of it myself, pile number 3. So I'm right there with you. And, it's been a really tough year, pile number 3. And some of you guys may have felt that energy. Okay. But let me just say that, after we go through these like dark night of the soul and these deep testing periods, what comes out of it is something something radiant and beautiful, pile number 3. Okay, I also feel like some of you too have been sacrificing your own happiness for other people as well at times, okay? And I feel like Saturn is telling you, I just wanted to say, don't be silly. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to want something nice for yourself. It's okay to want something beautiful in your life. It's okay to draw back, the shades and let some light in. It's okay I feel like some of you are going to get a surge of vitality that is going to allow you to be like more social, more friendly and more social, okay? And the 2 of Cups in the Tarot is the Lord of Love, okay? And some of you lately may not have really felt the sexiest. You may not have felt like, running around naked like a teenager and making out with people. The 5 of Pentacles really does a number. And it can even have you feeling like you're aging or looking older or just not looking your best or looking very frumpy. Okay, but I feel like all of that is going to change. And I feel like for some of you, this winter or this time right now has been really tough. I feel like the last 5 months with the 5 of Pentacles have been pretty tough for you, pile number 3, okay? But I feel like springtime, as soon as we get past the winter solstice and we start seeing that increase in light, I feel like things are really going to start feeling better for you. I feel some of you are going to be like far more energized, more optimistic, more like, focused on like new life and new growth, okay? Instead of just kind of the old dead things that tend to cling to us like barnacles. You know what I'm saying, pile number 3? Okay, and I feel like some of you in the past may have picked relationship partners that weren't always the best for you because you might have had not a great sense of self-worth, okay? And some of you may have also felt like you didn't want your partner or the person that you love to kind of see you in a more vulnerable light, okay? But I also feel like with the sun, some of you are really learning to like love your body and appreciate your unique flair, okay? And some of you, speaking of solar flares, some of you may be very health affected by solar flares, okay? Some people are, you know, some people are just really affected by things like that, pile number 3, okay? And but what I see here is a re-energizing and a belief in yourself that maybe you haven't felt for a long time. And for some of you, this may not have even been the last 5 months. It may have been the last 5 years, even. Like just a shitty, you know, like slugging through it kind of a time. And sometimes we have those moments in life, and, you know, we may be having a Saturn transit during that lovely period of time. You know, I feel like some of you just haven't really wanted to talk about it either with this 5 of Pentacles, or you just haven't really wanted to kind of like maybe burden other people with what's been going on with you, okay? But I feel like, you know, you guys are coming back full force with the sun, okay? And I think your newfound confidence and your newfound vitality is really going to attract some beautiful experiences your way, okay? And I also think some of you could be connecting with a doctor or a practitioner who really like knows how to work with you and gives you the secret key that you need to like feel better again. Okay, so I also see that coming for some of you here too, but I just see this level of excitement returning that you haven't felt in a long time. And some of you may be attracting with this 2 of Cups, you may be attracting like new love into your life. Or for those of you that are in connections and things have been real shitty for both of you, okay, like money issues, struggle, hardship, work issues, etc. I feel like, you know, one of you has an energy shift and it just changes everything. And I feel like it almost infects the other person with the spirit of like vitality, and all of a sudden that person is doing better, okay? So it's a very interesting thing. I think some of you in pile number 3, like with this 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, like your partner rubs off on you and you rub off on them, and there really is a deep energetic exchange between you and your person. But I feel like for some of you it just hasn't been there because shit's been hard, okay? So some of you may feel like with this 5 of Pentacles that your sex life was also like dead in the water, okay? Or you're like, I've gained weight, I don't really feel comfortable, or you know, I just feel smelly today, or I just feel weird today, or I just need to shower today, you know, whatever it is, pile number 3. But I feel like with the sun, it's like no more. You're starting to feel so much better. And because of that, you're really able to like communicate, commune, like you're really able to feel into the people that you're around, whether that's friends, whether it's partners. You're really able to connect, I feel, in a way, because Saturn has to do with inhibitions. You know, Saturn really is a planet of restriction and inhibitions. And, you know, I feel like some of you have been dealing with that recently with this 5 of Pentacles. But I feel like, wow, you know, like these things are going to, you're going to feel better. I just feel pile number 3. Okay. And where you've been feeling very restricted or down, I feel like, wow, here comes the sun, you know, and I feel like you guys are also becoming like more confident and proud of yourself too, which is also going to draw like a lot of positive attention in. Okay. So let's see what else we have here. Pride. Wow. I just was talking about pride, okay? And when we really believe in ourselves, it also helps increase our courage, you know, to really reveal our innermost selves with the 2 of Cups. So we have pride. I also feel like some of you may have been feeling very down about your work, or you've just been feeling crappy about maybe your job or your work or your money. Okay, but here's this sense of pride returning. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Yeah, that's the Two of Cups. It's that reflection. I love myself and I see my reflection in others, and others see their reflection in me. And through that, we heal one another, you know? And the Five of Pentacles could definitely be a case of downcast pride, okay? But I feel like for you guys, also some of you may have been like, feel like you were hiding things, or you were ashamed of something you were like working on or doing. But I feel like, wow, it really like comes out in a very beautiful, noticeable, lovely way. Okay, so here we have pride, all right, and your sense of pride and dignity and courage really roaring back. We have the Runner here. Okay, some of you could have been made to feel like really bad in relationships as well, because you were dealing with people that would like leave you or run away from you. And some of you, I feel some of you here too could have had absent fathers or missing fathers, or a parent that was like constantly gone and like not there for you and kind of left you alone to struggle. Okay, and I feel like some of you kind of had to, especially as a child with this Sun card, had to really like build yourself into the person that you are today. Okay, we have fear of intimacy on this card too, and some of you may have also had a fear of intimacy, maybe even had a fear of sexual connection as well too, because the Five of Pentacles can make us very fearful of connecting, or very fearful of, you know, because we feel like crap, you know, we're scared of letting other people in to kind of see us like that, okay? So I do feel like some of you have experienced these themes. Some of you could have felt very abandoned by people, like a parental figure or a partner in the past, okay? And could have felt like very ignored or marginalized because of that pile number 3. And my heart really goes out to you, okay? But what I see is, I see like you having courage and faith in yourself, and you really connecting with someone who sees you and you see them, okay? And I feel like some of you have you maybe tried to connect with someone and like put yourself out there, but then they ran off or something, and then you went back to this Five of Pentacles. It's like, no more, you know? And I feel like this doesn't have to be your story anymore. Pile number 3, okay? We have here anger. Yeah, some of you, yeah, I feel some of you have been holding in your anger as well, okay? I do feel like some of you could have a person in your life that, whether this was a parent, whether it could have been a parent, whether this was a parent in relationships and a parental figure, etc., that you show up excited and happy, like wanting to see that person. They cancel plans with you. They're not there for you. They don't show up for you. And because you just want, you know, love and connection so much, and you don't want to be in this feeling of feeling alone and shattered, some of you may have put up with behavior that was less than appropriate, or put up with people or behavior that was really crappy because you wanted to feel that sense of connection or love, okay? And Saturn, as I said before, Saturn, you know, when we're having a tough time with Saturn, it can feel like depression, you know, and it can feel like a lot of things, but a lot of inhibitions. And, you know, sometimes what happens is we end up, you know, we're actually angry about something. We're angry about somebody like abandoning us or leaving us or running, okay? And yet we're still trying to make something work, or we're still trying to keep the relationship. You know what I mean? Pile number 2 or pile number 3. So I feel like some of you here have been inhibiting your anger about a situation too, and been like, okay, everything's perfect, everything's fine. But inside, if you really, really search deeply, some of you might have been very angry, or you might have felt like your pride was injured, And I understand pile number 3, and it's okay. If you're mad, like, it's okay. Sometimes we have to let it out, and then we start to feel better, We have creativity. I feel like some of you have taken your anger or your pain about, people that have left you or ignored you or marginalized you, and like put it into your creativity instead of, exploding or blowing up, on things or people. Okay. I mean, some households have people who are very hot-tempered who blow up all the time, and some households have this air of like suppression and depression, okay? And some of you may have grown up in households where there was an air of like suppression or oppression of feeling, okay? Just kind of like limping along in life, but upset, all right? And I feel like some of you have taken that pain, toil, and struggle that you've been through and channeled it into art, or channeled it into your creativity, okay? And that's a beautiful place to channel it into, I feel. And I feel some of you with the Sun card are going to be like, some of you are going to have your work on display, I feel too. Some of you may have had your work on display and you told someone about it and you said, I'd really love you to come. And then the fucker didn't show up. So I feel like some of you could have had that happen in school when you were younger, like with a parent, or you were like so proud of yourself that you did something and you're just looking for that, communal validation with the 2 of Cups, but then that person didn't really show up, and some of you could have like a deep wound around that, pile number 3. Okay, but I feel some of you here with the Sun, not some of you, I feel all of you with the Sun here are very like talented, and you may have the ability to get your work out there and really noticed, okay? Let's see what else here. But I feel like with the 5 of Pentacles, you guys are like, yeah, but I need to make some money, off of it too, okay? And I get it. I completely get it, pile number 3. I do get it. We have I, psychic ability, trust your intuition. Okay, I love that I. It's like narrowing, okay? And if you feel like, somebody is like bringing you down, or somebody isn't really there for you, or this person has disappointed you before, like this type of thing, I feel like you guys are all too familiar with that, and you can smell a rat. I feel pile number 3. Like you can smell when someone is insincere, or like avoiding you, or not very present for you, okay? And I also feel like you can tell, pile number 3, when people are putting on a false show of pride. I feel like you guys are very intuitive about, you can see other people's vulnerabilities and how they try to cover it up with bravado, and I feel like some of you are very weary of becoming people like that. But I also feel like pile number 3, you deserve to like shine in your unique way, okay? Also, some of you could feel psychically that there is somebody who's jealous of you, because some of you may be having a moment coming up soon with the Sun where you're really getting noticed, but that friend doesn't show up to honor you, or that parent doesn't show up, or that lover doesn't show up, and you have a sneaking suspicion that that person is jealous, or, or that they are just insincere, okay? Jealous or insincere is what I'm getting, and some of you may be very angry about that. But at the end of the day, I feel you guys with the 2 of Cups are gonna meet people that are very like affirming. You affirm them, they affirm you, and validation is great, but I also just feel you guys are like validating yourselves too, okay? And we have here crown. Ooh, pile number 3. I'm doing the bump over here, and it says crown. Honor and respect will come to you. Oh my God, I've got chills. Of course it will, because you guys know how to work. With Saturn, you know how to shrug off, discomfort. Not shrug it off, but you know how to live with discomfort when there is a promise for a better day ahead. And that's what we see with the Five of Pentacles and the Sun, is we see somebody who's okay with being a little bit uncomfortable in order to have their day in the sun, okay? And the sun is all about dignity and royalty, okay, for sure, and honor and respect. Honor and respect will come to you because of your sincerity, your integrity, and your ability to work hard and stay humble. Pile number 3, okay? I can tell you, though, that there's some people in your life or people who've been in your life in the past who will not have the same honor and respect and dignity come to them. And I can tell you that those people know and understand, I think on a deep level, that they're not going to have that. And that, I mean, they may not want to face that, but pile number 3, and it's not just about worldly success and everything. It's about operating in a way that is, central and integral to who you are. Okay, and that deserves respect. And if there's people who are such, they can't even be there to show up for you on a good day, or they can't even, where is their integrity? Where is their honor? Where is their dignity? It is nowhere, okay? Those people need to go away. I'm going off, all right? Snow quartz and white light. Beautiful white light. Yes, the sun, white light, the ultimate white light. The white color of snow quartz. Yeah, and I talked about winter time too. The white color of snow quartz represents purification, cleanliness. I just want to say, some of you may appreciate a winter day that's very crisp, but it might be kind of cold but crisp, but when the sun is shining. Okay, some of you may really like that, like cleanliness, purification on a day like that. The white color of snow quartz represents purification, cleanliness, and innocence. Sometimes for innocence, the sun. Sometimes for people, a very sunny, crisp, clear day is actually very energizing, It helps you surround yourself with white light, bringing spiritual protection. Yep, spiritual protection. And you guys already know, you already see, trust your intuition, okay? It brings spiritual protection and connection to your angels and guides. Carrying snow quartz is like having a snow angel in your pocket. Oh, I love that. Affirmation. I surround myself with the white light, the sun of protection. Only good energy is allowed around me and in my space, okay? So some people are not coming and showing up because their energy isn't allowed, and your guides and your angels are not allowing them. And as they say, rejection is divine protection, pile number 3. And sometimes it literally is like a casting off, and it's like, this person cannot. It's really not allowed, okay? So some of you here really finding that spiritual protection and connection to your guides and your angels. Very lovely, pile number 3. We have here the dolphins. Oh, of course we have the dolphins in pile number 3. Look at all the water we have with the 2 of cups and the 6 of cups, and it's the dolphins. And sometimes in life, others are going to go their way. Some of you may have 2 people in your life who decided to go a different way, like 2 friends or other people. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Pile number 3, you're going to arrive at your destination and, having really gone the distance, I feel, okay? Dolphin and play. The sun, definitely an energy of play, okay? Swim in the happy joy of living. The sun, swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence, the sun. Exhale fear, the 5 of Pentacles. Dive into your wisdom. Yeah, Saturn. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow, 2 of Cups. Okay. And I feel like really nice opportunities to connect with people are going to be coming up for you, pile number 3. And they're not going to be like these old situations that maybe some of you had to contend with. Okay. Let's look at your Rumi card right here. Ooh, we have, I don't think I've ever drawn this card before. This is card number 23. We may have people in their 20s, or maybe something very special or spiritual happened to you at 23, pile number 3. And it says Star Mother Arcturus, Arrakas. I've never even heard of that. Star Mother Arcturus. Okay, let's look and see. And she looks like she's up in the galaxies and with the universal flow. But let's look. I'm going to read a little bit for you guys here. And we're going to tie in this reading for you, okay? I love it. Pile number 3. Let's see. Wow. Be the king who has made his own kingdom, the sun. Be the moon that has made her own summit. How much longer will you cuckoo like a pigeon? Empty your head of all mortal lust and become life without breath. You will not call out for God anymore, for you have become immersed in God. Rumi, okay? The Star Mother, Arrakis, dances with your soul on the celestial inner planes. She dances in the embrace of Father Sky, the sun, shining white and pale, deep in devotion to the light behind all that is. Icarus, dancing star of the heavens, incites our soul to feel the rhythm of life and surrender and flow in grace, stumbling and in play, like a child who thinks not of the right steps, but just moves with the music and with joy. She reminds you to dance freely and from your heart. She reminds you that your soul is constantly dancing with the divine. What a better way to connect with joy and beauty of your soul than to mimic its movements, okay? You are a child of heaven. You are born of such regal stuff, dear dancing child of the stars. When you suffer, I send you my comfort as stars falling from the sky. When you triumph, my dance becomes wild and light erupts from my heart in all directions. The light becomes music, stirring within you an urge, almost inexplicable and yet so very deep and real. To make music, to create art, to dance, to play, to be at one with the joyful creative energy that dwells within you. Star child, earth angel, divine creature, your star mother keeps an eye on all the wild games happening on the sacred playground of earth. She will care for you, righteous and true, shining divine justice and protection. No bully shall prevail over you. It literally says that, pile number 3. No bully shall prevail over you. No bully from within you shall prevail either. No lies, deceit, or injustice shall temper your wild truth. Be demanding and claiming her love for you. Learn how to love yourself as she loves you, with wild, unconditional, passionate regard. Be like the child wailing for its mother, ma, 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 come close. Then she descends like a torrential downpour of devotional light. A tsunami of affection is unleashed. A rampaging cosmic tigress hurtles towards you, her claws gripping the fabric of the skies as she rushes to protect her beloved cub. She will fight for you against the forces that would dull you. Yeah, the 5 of Pentacles, the forces that would dull you and dumb you down, obscure your brilliance. Wow, 5 of Pentacles and the Sun. And stultify your free-form dance into strict choreographed movements. She will pour her luminous essence into every crevice of your demanding soul. Nothing can resist her light. All shall be washed and revived in the outpouring of her luminous love. Yeah, it says, you do not succumb to untruths. You do not resist because you are safe and held in the love of the mother. You have no need to resist. What is there to resist? Nothing. There is only the loving truth in your world and all the peace in your heart. And there should be cause to stand up and fight for love, for freedom, for light, for her truths of unconditional life, respected and honored. Well, you shall be particularly equipped for success. Yeah, the crown, right? When there is that war to fight, you shall be the warrior who defends the motherland. Absolute in your devotion to her ways and empowered through her vast, triumphant power. So here is your guidance. Lay down your old weapons, for new technology awaits you. It is the most magnificent of forces, that divine alignment of surrender to the Star Mother and her way of luminous potency. From her great vantage point, the vastest problems of our earthly mindsets are merely in need of a quick whipping by the tail of a comet. And this she easily achieves by flicking a strand of her hair or poking out her tongue. The hands of a greater being, even your deepest trials will succumb to divine victory. Okay, no matter how dark life on earth may seem at times, when we remember our holy heritage, we can also realize, ah, yes, I am blessed, held as one with the Mother, who shall not be deterred from great holy purpose. I shall prevail. I forgot that and feared, but now I remember, and I am determined once more. Beautiful. Pile number 3. Let me just tell you how much I love your reading. I love it times a million. So thank you so much, pile number 3. I hope everyone enjoyed the reading today, or tonight as it were. And I'd love to hear your comments or feedback in the comments section below. Thank you so much, pile number 3. And thank you to everyone. Take care.